Welcome back to the Weekend Warrior Show Recap Podcast. I'm Ty from the Unemployed Architects. This week I have a little tour to talk about. We did 3 shows, so it was Friday in Indianapolis at Chilly Water Brewing, and Saturday we played at Paw Paw Brewing in Michigan, and then Sunday we played at this place called District Tap on the north side in Indianapolis. So Indianapolis, Paw Paw, Indianapolis. So show every day. They were all 3-hour sets. It was a pretty long weekend. A lot of driving, three-hour drives pretty much. I think we ended up and did 4 of those. But first I'm going to get into, I been working pretty hard last week on the final mixes of the upcoming release, the live album, the first TyJon Charlie release. So really excited about that. I think the tracks are turning out pretty good. It's looking like somewhere between 14 and 17. So, maybe 15, 16 tracks. Definitely pretty wild to have that many, but I think I'm gonna release a good amount of them as singles first, maybe like a 3-track single, because when Ryan Wolf and I and Lo did our EP, we released 3 tracks, and we thought it would be an EP, but they told us that on where we release them that 3 tracks is only a single technically. You need 4 at least to call it an EP. So I'm going to use that to my advantage, because I could release one single for the next year or do 5 altogether, one every 6 weeks, whatever that turns out to be, 6 months or whatever. Or I could just do 3 per for the next few 6-month or 6-week periods, and then release the whole album. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the best of, essentially, as the singles, and then after that it's going to be just the full length. But overall, pretty happy with the way it turned out. I mean, it was one take, on all these songs. I think there was probably closer to 20, 22. I cut some of them that just didn't turn out as good as I was hoping. But I mean, 16 or 15 pretty solid performances, and I mean, they're definitely live. They're definitely my one-man band style performance. So I'm excited to have a good example of what that even is. A lot of people I say that to, I don't know if they get what I mean, but now I can just show them. So that'll be exciting, and it's pretty raw. It doesn't really. I mean, I took them into the studio, but that was just to get them mastered, essentially. Which mastering essentially is just volume, try to get the volume and keep the quality, get all the instruments to kind of ring out to their best potential. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. I've never had, the last thing I did was the live album. It was just a little 7-track live EP, but this one is the one-man band version, a lot more songs and a lot more professional sounding. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. I've been listening to a lot of live albums and kind of comparing, and I think it's competitive. I think my best tracks are as good as some of the worst tracks on some of the stuff I like, but I'm being overly critical. I mean, there's no way to not be when it's your music, I think. But overall, just really excited. And then I'm gonna have the YouTube videos to kind of follow that, and that's really exciting for me. So probably next week, I think I have 2 tweaks that I'm doing on 2 more tracks, and then pretty much just start releasing them. So it's gonna be awesome, and I'm excited for anybody who's interested to listen. And Ryan Wolf helped me on the album artwork, so I'm liking how that's turning out. And yeah, I'm pretty pumped. So let's get into the little tour here. Lo decided to come on this one. I wasn't really expecting her to, so I was kind of surprised she made that decision. And she came, kind of decided the week of, and was kind of back and forth a few times, but she came, and the first show we were running pretty late too, which, you know, is my new MO, I guess. And it was the Chilly Water one. That probably turned out to be the most fun show, which was a little disappointing, but you know, what can you do? It's we had a lot of fun at that show. It was stressful to get there, stressful to get everything set up. It was hot. We were all sweaty, and we ended up and got there and did it, and yeah, it went really well. And it was kind of cool. At the end, we were playing, and it goes through phases there. It's like, you know, we got your dinner crowd, and those are the hardest people because they aren't really there to hear music. But then, after they kind of clear out, then you get people that are just walking by. We actually had two big groups, or one big group and a couple other people that had heard us because they were eating outside at the restaurant across the street, and they had, you know, kind of walked on over and were making requests and really into it. And yeah, so it made it a lot of fun. And then we hightailed it to St. Joseph, Michigan that night, which we didn't get there till almost 3 a.m. maybe. No, 4 a.m. And we were staying with an old friend of ours, well, really an old friend of my brother's, but, you know, I know him pretty well as well, and hadn't really talked to him in a while, but last time I played in Paw Paw, I'd mentioned that, you know, he could come out because he lives kind of near there, and, you know, it's like a 45-minute drive, and he offered up his place, so I took advantage of it, which was super, super generous, like, saved me a lot of money to have him be so nice, him and his girlfriend let us stay there. And I felt bad arriving at 4 a.m., you know, and then we had to leave really early on Sunday as well. It was like we left by 6 a.m. or no, 7 a.m. on Sunday. But we were really hoping to get a beach day in. Like, that's all I ever want. When I go up there, it's like, it's going to be a little bit of like a ocean feel, you know, that big body of water kind of vibe. Get a nice hot day in June. Last time I played there, turned up and it was 58 degrees, 56 degrees, somewhere in there. And then this time it was raining. So we did end up and go walk out on the pier and walk on the beach a little bit because it wasn't like so cold, and it was really only like sprinkling, but the water was definitely very cold. And I don't know, it was still fun. We still gotta walk around. There's some cool areas in St. Joseph that are kind of more artsy, and some little shops and stuff that we kind of just drove around. It's just nice to be around a big body of water. For some reason, that provides a little peace of mind for some reason. And then we went to, so we had the show in Paw Paw, which has been, you know, the one that I was most excited about because I always played there twice before. I always had a really good time. And this time, it's kind of not the case, unfortunately. I don't really know what was going on, but it's like right away we had a couple in the crowd that were like annoyed at us, it seemed like, for being too loud, and telling us how to mix it and stuff and make it sound better. And I don't know, they were just putting off a weird vibe in general, and it was hard. And then of course they left like before we got through like maybe 5 songs. So yeah, it was weird. It was put us in a weird funk, and then I probably slept a total of 3-4 hours each night, so I was, you know, kind of feeling that part of it, and just wasn't getting a lot of crowd. I mean, there were a few tables that were semi into it. It's kind of a question whether we should have played outside as well. Wasn't really sure if that would have been the right call because it was looking a little rainy that day, like I'd mentioned, and yeah, I don't know. Just didn't quite feel like the other ones. The other ones, you know, it was like a dinner crowd when I came. There wasn't really people wanting to eat outside. It was kind of chilly, so more busy inside. And then seemed like I grabbed a lot of the people like pretty much immediately. You know, maybe took like a half hour, and then people were kind of more into it and whatnot. So it was not the case this time. There were a few tables that were, and then we got some people up and dancing and whatnot, but just didn't feel quite as good as it normally does, and they were asking us to turn down and whatnot. a lot at the beginning, which I think it was really just that one table that was complaining. But and I mean, I've played there by myself 2 times and been way louder, like probably double the volume, and nobody complained at all. So it was just a weird vibe, weird feel. We got there so early to set up too, so I felt like it was going to be such a good show. And then, I was looking forward to that one the most, and it ended up and had too high of an expectation ultimately. And then we had to hightail it Sunday, 7 a.m., go back to Indianapolis. We got this place super earlier, the District Tap, and they had us do this weird thing where we were plugging our PA system into, they have a little XLR port that goes to all of their speakers, and they have these really nice powered JBLs kind of all over the bar. And so I knew that this was going to be kind of a hassle, and I just because I'm unfamiliar with what it was, and I've been using the JBL, which is it doesn't really have a monitor out. It has a little RCA monitor out. So I tried plugging that directly in and got some converters, RCA to XLR. And it's supposed to be an unpowered line anyway, and I got it, and it wouldn't work, of course. And then I ended up having to kind of redo the whole sound for the whole, how we were doing it, and got it all plugged in, working and everything. And then, of course, it's like a 12 to 3 show, which is a weird time for a show. There's like a restaurant more than it was a bar, it felt like. It was just a huge place, honestly, but we were kind of on the beer garden patio type side. And so a lot of people coming from church. It's kind of what it felt like, what it boiled down to. And yeah, I don't know. It was a weird feel. And of course, they were telling us to turn down immediately as well. And it was like, well, we could just not plug it into your speakers, and everything would have been 1,000 times easier, way quieter. And it's like, I don't really understand why they had us do that. And then the person on the manager there, it was her first Sunday, so she seemed like she only kind of knew what was going on. She was really nice, really cooperative and everything, but it just seemed everything was a little weird. And then it was booked through a third party, so I had no connection to anybody at the bar, which made it a little weird. And we got home pretty late, so then I was back in the studio, and I think we finished all the songs. He really just I was trying to figure out the best kick drum, how loud I wanted it, because he boosted the kick drum frequency to make it come through a little more. And so I do the thing where it's way over the top, way too loud, and then come back, and then I overcompensate the other way. So hopefully, I think we found a happy medium. And so I got all the songs mixed down and exported to my hard drive, and then there are 2 things on it. One of the songs just comes in too late or too early, it cuts one of the first chords off, so that'll be a really easy fix. And I think there was a glitch in another one that we just have to re-export. So yeah, really excited to get that out, and for people to hear it and listen. And this coming weekend, what I'm gonna be late for tonight is gonna be Door 4 Brewing, which is pretty straightforward show, 7 to 9, easy set, hopefully. And then tomorrow night will be kind of the more crazy, because I'm doing another 3-hour drive, and it's a 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. set. So, I'll get done at 1, and then I'll pack up by 2, hopefully be on the road by around 2, and then 3-hour drive home. So it's going to be a pretty rough one, honestly, and it's a 4-hour set. So, will be an adventure, and that's kind of what I'm in the game for, I suppose. And that's what I'll be talking about next week. Hopefully I'll at least get the first set of singles out from the live album to be, they probably won't be out, but at least I'll get them on the track to be released, so that way I can start showing people in the next couple weeks. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I appreciate anybody who takes the time to listen, and I will talk to you next time. All right, have a good one. Bye.